Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring Foundations of Metropolis. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you an overview of how the game is played, and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Foundations of Metropolis to your collection. Here we have Foundations of Metropolis. Now, if you've ever played Foundations of Rome, it is basically the same game without the fancy buildings. And on your turn, you're either going to build a building from your set, or you're going to buy a lot that's for sale, or you're going to collect money. At the beginning of the game, each player gets 6 cards, and these cards tell us which lots we will own. And we put our tokens onto the board. Now we have 8 tokens in total, so as long as we have tokens available, we're able to buy more lots. So if we look down here, these are the lots currently available. And they go up in price, but as you purchase it, they will come down, slide down. So I'm going to start by buying F2. I would take it, and all these cards then will slide down. And then you would take a card from year 1 to fill it in. And you work through year 1 until all the cards have been purchased. At the end of that, that is when you score, and it says right here how things are scored underneath. So I bought F2. So I come over here with my token, and I put it on F2. And so now I have this area that has 2 spots beside each other. So on my next turn, if I wanted to, I'd be able to build a building. So everybody has the same player mat. Now I just want to point out that all the different images are different per color. So if you're colorblind, you can just go by shape and could still play this game easily. Up here, these buildings are all point-based, based on what they're touching. So I like to play those later in the game once I have more buildings on the board. The rest of the buildings are either population or money. So because it's the first building we're doing, I think I would go with money because I want to, when I go to collect my money, I want to get extra. So I would maybe take this building here and I would put it here where I had those 2 spots available. And now these are back into my supply so I can carry on to purchase more lots with them. On my next turn, if I wanted to collect money, everybody receives $5. And then it's based on what is shown on your board. So here I have $1. I would get $1 additional dollar every time I collected money. Now, if I had this one opening, then I would get 3 extra dollars. So as you remove buildings from your board, it will determine how much more money you will get when it's time for you to collect money. Now later in the game, if I was to say get G2, I could build over top of this. As long as I'm building larger than what's currently there, so I have the 2 space, I could bring a 3 space, remove these, and build that there. Then this piece would go back into my player board as well as my token. And you can even switch it out. I had a money piece, and now I have a population piece there. That is fine too. So as long as I'm building larger than the building that was currently there and I have the spaces around it, you can rebuild your buildings. At the end of each year, you score. So at the end of year 1, if I've only built 2 buildings, you've probably built more, but just for the example, I would score 3 points for this one. And this is the prestige tracker. So I would put that at 3. Now for population, I have 4, so I'd put my population at 4. Now to score population, you have to have people out. If you did not build a building that has people, you do not score for your population. Now at the end of each year, there's a different amount. So at the end of each year, population bonus is 4. So if I was in the lead with my 4, I would actually gain 8 points. So that would be at 11. And so, as I said, at the end of each year, you are scoring for whatever prestige is showing on your board and then where your population sits compared to the other player. Now, if this player had 1, they would score whatever the person ahead of them was sitting at. So they would score 4 points, even though they only had 1 population. And that's basically how it is scored, and it is scored, as I mentioned, at the end of each year. And at the end of year 3, instead of receiving money, you would receive points for the coins you would receive. Overall, we really enjoyed playing Foundations of Metropolis. Now, I never had a chance to play Foundations of Rome, but I did watch a video, and to me, it seems to be basically the exact same game. Because of that, it's really tight, it's really simple. You're either buying a lot, you're getting money, or you're building. This here is the board for 2 players. So I'll just remove all these pieces. So on the other side, it has this would be 2-player here if you have 3 players, and then 4 players. And there's the extra cards to add in for the extra players. So you can have a larger board. It's just really straightforward, and it's a lot of fun trying to get the pieces you want, buy the lots. When you start, you're really going for the lesser expensive ones, but later on you see that one you really want and you're spending the money, because by then you've put out pieces and you have more money to spend. I really like the pieces, the choice between the money and population, which one you're going to go for, and then later where you're placing these bonuses. And you get the bonuses not just for your pieces, but if they're near your opponent's pieces as well. So if an opponent has a $3 piece out, you would still get the points for that. So it's scoring for every piece it's touching, not just yours. So you're building the city together. So it is a great game. If you like tile placement games, then I would definitely recommend checking out Foundations of Metropolis. So let me know in the comments if you played this game or if you played Foundations of Rome and what you think of the game.